Looks like I'm stuck. Again. You don't have to be playing a game to get stuck. We can get stuck on our attitudes and an everyday experience. Over the last 3 weeks, we've been looking at the story of Luke chapter 15. We've been talking about the prodigal son and his dad. And this week, we're talking about the older brother. He got stuck. He got stuck with an attitude of resentment that had been building up inside of him. From his outside actions, he was doing the right things, getting the jobs done. But underneath, he was crying out, "It's not fair. It's not fair." And it seemed like the last straw for him came when his brother arrived home and there was a massive celebration underway and he was asked to help prepare it. It wasn't the action so much as the attitude. As parents, it's easy for us to focus on the actions of our kids. We can guide them to choosing the right action, but really underneath that all is an attitude we want to foster. We'd love to foster an attitude of grace, getting something great that you don't deserve. But see, grace is a gift that we give as well as a gift that we receive. In our story, the challenge was for the older brother to give that gift of grace. But he didn't want to do it because it's not fair. When we sit around a meal table, it's a wonderful time to actually explore topics as a family. This week, you could talk about the things that have been unfair. Maybe it's current, something that's happening right now in your home or in the school environment or work environment. Maybe it's something that you have faced and you've worked through that. See, guiding our children to discover that grace is an attitude that comes from a heart of wanting to love others in the same way Jesus did. When we look at the story of Luke 15, we can identify with each of those characters. There's elements in our lives like the younger brother. There's elements in our lives when we can be like the dad. And yes, there are times when we're like the older brother. Jesus used this parable to show us how much God really does love us. Even though we have different choices that we make, He loves us no matter what. Whether you're more like the prodigal son, the older brother, or the dad, we all need to show grace to each other. God gives us the most amazing gift of grace that we really don't deserve. He wants us to show the same love to others. He wants us to extend grace to those even when we don't want to, even when it's hard. He wants us to love others the way He does. Grace is not something that we can just learn overnight. It takes a lifetime of practice. It will really help your kids when you talk about these things and you help them understand how to move on from "it's not fair." Help them to see how they can show grace to others. First in the home, and then beyond into their school, their friendships, and into the community. Don't forget they'll be watching you and seeing how you navigate this as well. So when you get stuck, read Luke 15 again and see grace in action, getting something great that you don't deserve.